All right, Disney and Hershey lovers, I'm Matt.
Alex P.
And we are here with the American Coaster Enthusiasts. We are here outside of Chocolate World, actually. American Coaster Enthusiasts as well as Chocolate World organized a backstage tour
of the tour ride.
Behind the scenes of the tour ride. So we're going to give you guys a look at some of what the operation room does here to operate the ride. As I'm sure a lot of you guys watching right now have been on this ride millions of times. You know, this is a popular thing in this area, especially for the locals like ourselves that come through here. I've ridden this attraction since growing up as a kid. So I've seen the different versions of it as remodels and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna go inside and show you guys. Now, mind you, we may not be able to film entirely everything. We'll only show you guys what we're allowed to show you guys on camera. So.
Plus, that was my first time actually walking the track. I've walked by it a lot of times.
Yeah, so this will be a first experience for you because you work here.
I do work here in the building. I do walk by tour ride every day.
But you don't go through the areas that we're about to experience.
I don't.
So, all right, let's go in there.
You'll hear us call it central maintenance. Central maintenance is right in the smack dab in the middle of the ride. So if we drew a straight line from this door straight through, we'd be on the turntable. So we've hopped on halfway, so we're gonna do the half, we'll stop, look at the operator box, and then we'll complete our circle, okay? Cool. So we are now heading through refining. So, a little different, but I'm sure you can imagine if a leak happens, what kind of nightmare that was to clean up with oil and ink. But I'll scoot down and let everybody.
What did you say that was?
Yes, this piece of equipment is to scale. Actually, most of the equipment came straight from the factory. So this is old equipment that existed in the factory at the time.
What did you say is in there?
Glycol and ink. Okay. That's what gives it that like smooth, chocolatey look. But back in the day, it was oil and ink. That's what you had. Yeah, which was, I'm sure, quite a pain to keep full and to ensure that it wasn't leaking everywhere. Every 36 cars, there is a VIP entrance. Has anyone ever come onto the tour ride using our VIP feature? No. Okay. So we have, on occasion, we'll have guests who are unable to do our tour ride queue for whatever reason, whether that they can't do the stairs, they can't do the line, like they can't do the wait, whatever that may be. So this is our ADA car. We have 3 of them on. This allows our guests who are coming to us in wheelchairs to remain in their wheelchair and to still ride with their ponies. So we have VIPs who they get pointed out at our post, which is why you always have somebody who's standing at the entrance to the tour ride. They are identifying folks who may struggle with that, the length of the queue or the stairs. There's about 20 stairs going down, and they offer them an alternative entrance. So this way our VIPs will go, they'll greet the guests and their family. They'll take them on through the back way, which we'll see once we get onto the turntable, and they'll wheel them onto the moving floor, assist their party on with them, pull this ramp on, push the guests up and in, and load their companions all in the 30 seconds that the car is visible on the turntable. It takes a high level of execution, and we're very, very appreciative for our VIPs. But with us being Hershey, we want to be as inclusive as possible, and we hate alienating any certain type of guest. So the VIP process is very near and dear to us, and something we really like to champion, as it gives a lot of our guests who otherwise would not be able to get on that experience along with their family like everybody else.
Do we need to cross over?
We're going to let them scoot by us, so we can come down this way.
I heard enough, but I've been on it enough.
Okay. If you're ever on this ride for more than a minute or two and it's stopped, likely what has happened is we have guests who will find themselves out of their car, a leg up and over the door, onto the floor. Now, would any of you jump out of a roller coaster? No. No, it's not wise. I do not recommend it. So we'll see it when we get to the turntable, but we have an operator whose main job is to look at the cameras and to ensure everybody is behaving safely and in the manner that they should.
And what happens if they don't?
The whole ride gets shut down. If the hardy stop, we have to call the cavalry. It's a whole combination of maintenance and the manager on duty and the person in charge of attractions for the day. We need to go in and chat with our guests. We are trying to limit our stops because it really inconveniences every single person on the ride. You may have, I have an attraction in 10 minutes, we had just enough time to hop on the tour ride, I wanted to get it in, and now we're running late. Which is why I never, outside of the safety issue, I would never advise hopping out of your car. If you lose your phone, a hat, we have our own process to stop it and retrieve your items. Please don't take it upon yourself to do so, but we do have guests on occasion do that. It's a big safety concern. What we're walking over top of and why it says keep off is our bus bar. As enthusiasts, I'm sure everyone is very familiar with the bus bar and the amount of electricity that's coursing through the ride at any time. Outside of that, there are pinch points. You can lose a limb, fingers, all manners of things. We are never on this turntable while it's in motion, which is another reason you should never self-exit unless instructed to do so.
So my favorite is when you come back and have to talk to somebody in a car and you go, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And they go, so why'd you get out of the car? I didn't get out of the car. Really? Really?
Oh,
no,
all the time.
no, I didn't get out of the car. Oh, you know there's cameras. Yeah. Why'd you get out of the car?
Okay.
So they get a free escort off.
They
the ride.
do get a free escort off the ride.
And sometimes at the door, depending on. Yeah.
You don't get your free chocolate.
No, you don't pass go, you don't get $200.
Now, sometimes it's the instant. My $5,000 phone is on the floor, and I didn't think about it. It's a bit slow enough, and I popped out. Most of the time, they get out of the car, their feet touch the ground, the whole ride stops, and they go, oh, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. In cases like that, yep, all right, we can chat. Don't ever leave a car. Don't ever get out of a roller coaster, things like that. Those are the more pleasant of the interactions we have. But you do have those, I didn't get out of the car. I watched you jump out.
You know, it's one thing my mom always taught this, like, you can lie to the point where you know you're caught, then just give up.
Give up.
And in this day and age with the camera,
Exactly.
you sure you didn't turn out how I did? Really?
Okay, I get out of a car one time, whose parents were in the car behind, and he's like, I didn't jump out, and I was going. He got an escort off, and she's like, where will you be out?
But yes, it's not worth it. These are bricks of wood. So it is always, they hop out, they grab it, and they go, oh, it wasn't candy after all. And it's like the guilt, the shame. Yes, honey, what's up?
So what about donuts? Like, are those? Like, I'm confused what they are.
So those are molds. I believe they use the actual like Hershey molds, but it's I'm assuming like a resin or a plastic, just to simulate the candy bar. Anywhere on this ride, you're not going to see real candy. If you think about it, wrapped candy here to sit forever and ever is going to attract little friends we don't want. So there is no actual. I believe it's also like little wooden.
Are you serious?
Or resin, they could be
Resin
resin.
blocks.
Yeah.
But they would be wrapped the same. So the things you're looking at very tedious, and when people jump out, grab them, it is now a process for us to replace them.
And then another question. Do you usually, what happens when, depending on the situation, can you get banned from Child's World
Yeah.
or the ride?
Yes, it has happened.
How many times?
I won't be able to give you a number off the top of my head, but it does happen.
Oh, God, that's okay.
Your best, just don't pose a risk to yourself or others, and you'll be fine.
See, I think like leases that are blocked before, just give it to me.
Just jump out,
Like, you know.
exactly. No, but it's always, oh, I really want to read some stuff, and they hop on and go, oh, there's a close. So I do recommend that when you get out of your shop. So, of you folks, who joined us over the winter? Okay, many of you. So you saw our overlay, right? We had elves, it was all decorated. That's the first time we've done anything like that in over 10 years. So we're very excited. I think it brought a lot of Christmas cheer. But our friends Reese and Hersh had nice little custom sweaters. Who has joined us for Breakfast with Santa? Any of you? If you haven't, I do recommend it. If you want a corresponding picture with Reese and Hersh in their Christmas sweaters that you find on the tour ride, they're exclusively at Breakfast with Santa in their own custom sweaters. I would love Reese's. I wish we sold them, but do recommend. It all ties in. These are also new with the overlay that we did over Christmas. So these will stay our big Hershey kisses. Yeah, these are a newer addition.
Do you ever consider a Halloween overlay?
Yes, so we're hoping that winter was the first of many. Just like to try new things, and it's a much bigger lift than you would think in terms of new animatronics. There's a lot of corresponding pieces that have to be installed and tested to make sure that they work. All of our animatronics were air operated, which meant running air hoses all through the building.
Yes, I think he may have said something downstairs, but I couldn't hear because I was in the back.
Yeah.
Are they thinking about doing another remodel of this? I think it's been like 10 years since this was done.
So we got an update in 2006, 2016.
This is the one I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, same
it
here.
may be on the horizon. Looking at 10 years now at 2026, it's about that.
That's
time.
why I was asking the
Yeah,
10 years.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's great.
Any other questions for here? All right, we can keep on going. They'll have to physically remove, which is a whole process, and send out. But that takes a lot of coordination. You've seen the maintenance shop. That's a tight space. These are big cars, just one of them. So to really coordinate all of that space, then we have to have a truck on standby to take it out in the whole nine.
Yes, it's talking about tour ride cars. Took notice. I remember for the 50th, you had one of the originals out front. Did you guys ever think about doing that on a permanent basis for like a photo op for guests?
I do believe at some point it was a fixture out in the food hall during our 50th.
I saw at Christmas they used that for Santa
and
too.
At Christmas, that's what
Yeah.
Santa sits in. Space is a premium in this building. We're landlocked, so we like to have things kind of coming and going. But they'll definitely highlight anytime we have that old school car out for guests to come and take.
Yeah, I always love that. I love showing people that maybe are not familiar with the original cars, but they're familiar with
Yes,
this.
please.
I'd love to show
And I
that.
have another car fun fact when we get to the turntable to talk about. As I'm sure you remember, the cars didn't used to have doors on them.
Yes, I grew up with that as a kid. I
Yes,
remember the
which
ride so much.
It's its own problem.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that as
Once
go
we hit
around.
turntable.
Yeah.
And I just like to point out the Hershey Kisses, this now moves, but we produce 70 to 80 million Hershey Kisses every day, and all of the Hershey's chocolate ones are all produced in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I always like to make that call.
It looks so different with the screens turned off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. This is literally right by the employee lockers.
That's how you come in.
Yeah, that's how I That's awesome.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, do I have everyone? Perfect. All right, so you all, I'm sure, recognize up here, you should. This is the turntable where your journey really begins. So we would load you here. Just a few things about the turntable. I think Alex already talked about how fast it's moving. Our other VIP car is here, so we'll see the third when we're back on the other half of the ride. But this is really like command hub. A lot of things are happening up here. As I talked about our VIP entrance, this is it. This is that ramp that's coming up. So our VIPs, as they're assisting our guests, they have the time from the car is present till about that windmill to complete all of the things I talked about. So getting the guest on, getting their people on as well, getting them up into the car, getting their people behind them, shutting the door, and then letting them go. So it's a fine-tune operation as the floor really doesn't stop or slow down. Now we do have the ability to do so. Do you have the So we have the use of our buttons. Our VIPs, those who are assisting our guests who can't mobily do the stairs and come down the regular queue, always have these on. The person at lines always has one. We get guests who may not need the full VIP experience, as in they don't need to be put in a wheelchair and maneuvered on that way. It may just take them a little bit longer to get through the queue, but the floor, for whatever reason, could be moving a little too fast. So we do have the ability to slow it or to stop it. I would say we most frequently have to stop the floor when we have our bus groups with our older guests who come in, and instead of everybody needing to get onto a VIP car, they probably can walk the turntable, but they just can't do the entirety of the queue. So in that case, we'd see both sets, we'd stop the ride, and then we would walk them on. If you ever hear a moo, you will have the floor is going to slow down. So that's the cue. The auditory cue, you'll hear it, so you'll feel it slow down. If you hear a cock-a-doodle-doo, the ride is coming back up to speed and it's going to continue on as normal. So that's just a little fun fact. If you do ever hear those two audio cues, that one's kind of going on.
I've heard those before.
Yeah.
I am going to take you guys over to peek into the operator box. So this is really our command hub if you want to come around. Yes.
I've seen it.
And you can see, so you can likely see the other groups that are walking along the track. If you peek in.
It's the same exact panelist was in there.
Yes. The tour ride is started from two places. So one maintenance team member is initiating the ride to start up here. Then they have to go back to the maintenance bay where we just were and hard start the ride. And that's how, so you'll hear probably all of the music turn on. Once they turn on here, but the cars won't actually begin moving until from the maintenance bay, they initiate that startup. These cameras are also newer. These were put in, I believe, 10 years ago when we swapped the old cars out. And why I said I was gonna come back to the old cars. So we didn't have doors and we also didn't have cameras. So anytime the ride needed to be stopped, it had to be evacuated. We could not see inside of the ride, so there's no way for us to actually verify that nobody's in the way of the ride track, that they haven't hopped out while the ride has stopped, or anything of that nature. So now, if we don't have half of these cameras, we cannot run for the day.
Are you going in?
Gridlock here.
Yes.
We got 10 minutes.
So we're now going to complete the loop. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna jump in front of you. We're gonna complete the loop now. So this is how you normally start. There's Terry. Yeah. So it's funny when the ride has e-stopped, but if there's still some power to the animatronics. So I always say she has an attitude over there, because even when the ride is not moving, if the power is on, she still looks and closes her mouth and opens it and looks. So every now and then I'm up here, I forget she's on, and she's looking at me, and then she looks away and I go, what was that? Well, we can keep piling in here. Now, how many of you are familiar with our OG gals? The three. Does anyone remember their names?
Gabby, Harmony, and Olympia, the originals.
Yes, Gabby, Harmony, and
Yeah.
Olympia. There is still a nod to them on this ride that we'll see as we keep going. But now we have our six, and then we have Cupcake over here on the side. Yes, you can the language, which is fun. So we have our bean cleaner. We're gonna pop into bean blending, which is most people's favorite part with the roast bean tunnel.
Who is it?
And I do apologize, I am gonna run us through here. We're gonna get the ride up in about 8 minutes and we'll allow you guys to be on the turntable while we're bringing everything up, so I wanna make sure we're over there for that. Ecuador and West Africa are where we typically are getting our cocoa beans. So you probably saw like an old cocoa bean strip when we were back in central maintenance.
Yeah, I saw that folded up on.
Yes. Braking has been updated. So we did get a lot of feedback with the last ride overlay. We went very digital and leaned very into the digital aspect of it. We heard everyone loud and clear. We like some of that old mechanical, like actual items. So a lot of those things have been switched back over to accommodate for that. So braking has been updated.
When did that happen?
That occurred, we were doing that late last year to get ready for that Christmas overlay.
Okay, so that'd be new. Anybody
Who hasn't, was not here for Christmas, that's
What
gonna
do
be
you
new. This
No,
is
the
our
lights
third and
there.
final
Uh-huh.
car. This has also been updated to go back to some of our roots of the actual items instead of the like digital snapshot where it was zooming in and zooming out. So this is pressing.
This used to be the kitchen where he was in the kitchen where.
Yeah. I can see that yellow cage that I was talking about, but I always, if I'm walking the ride early in the morning or after we close, every now and then I feel, I'm like, am I hearing voices? I'm hearing the maintenance team talk under me. Holy crap. We did, we crashed again. I do want to call out here, if you are looking for Gabby, Harmony, and Olympia, they're going to be in the corner of this screen when it's on. You'll see 3 cows and they'll be in pink boas. So that's our nod to Gabby, Harmony, and Olympia after we renovate. Here, I'm gonna have you guys come here, don't press the bus bar, but we're gonna go.
If I've ever
Oh, good.
get for any.
Alex, how heavy are the cars? Heavy, that's not bad.
Yep. Projection mapping's all, they're big, going back to the original.
And you're now back to where we were. The chocolate front is also, because that was another projection that we had that's been replaced by actual items for you to see, along with the chocolate dispenser. We have already come down through this way, so we're going to duck out of the closest emergency exit door. We're going to loop back around to the turntable, and then we'll get it started up for you.
All right, they're getting ready to fire up the ride here. We're going to see this, get to witness this.
Talk to my face. You'll be fine.
Once again, show action elements will begin moving immediately. Please remain clear of the road.
We do not. That stopped in COVID. So prior to COVID, we had all 3. You also have the ability, like if you 2 were gonna come, sit in the front seat, I would also be prone to, if we're busy, 3 people from a different group, I'm gonna load people in the group. With COVID, we've stopped that, and I think our guests prefer it more. That way when you're buying photos, you're buying just your family. You're more likely to buy just you than you 2 and 3 people who don't know you. But everything is working, and if not,
And that's a wrap. So tell me, what did you think?
It was actually really cool. This is the first time I've actually walked the track. As an employee, I have been walking in the hallways around it, but not on the actual track.
Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting to see now. Mind you, we weren't able to get the maintenance area.
Yeah.
Everything else we were able to get. But even seeing the maintenance area and going underneath the ride
track.
and seeing the actual track and the guts of the ride, the computer control system was pretty cool.
It was.
And also, as far as like seeing the animatronic cows in there and quiet and all the strings turned off was pretty cool. So, but yeah. What else? What else did you like about it?
I liked how my boss Kaden was the one who led our group.
So yeah, she did a great job.
She's awesome.
Hats off to Chocolate World, especially her, but to the Chocolate World team for taking the American Coaster enthusiasts through the building, to the tour. So we thank you both. This wouldn't have been possible without either of them. So yeah. And also, join. If you're not an ACE member, feel free to check them out. They do not just here at Hershey. They do nationwide, regional, wide tours, backstage events. You name it. Check them out. And as far as our team goes here at Disney Lovers at Hershey Park, we are constantly searching to add vloggers, behind the scenes people, so if
content
creators, yeah. So if you enjoy doing content creation, or you enjoy vlogging, we're always looking for those kind of people.
And please read through our updated guidelines.
Yes, we will be happy to send that to you guys. Yeah, reach out to us through our Facebook page or our season pass holder group. Yeah, Hershey Park season pass holders. So without further ado, we are going to wrap this up, and you know what to do: like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're not, all that on our socials. And with that said,
have a magically sweet day.
That's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Check us out on our social media channels, including our Facebook group, where you can meet other fans as well as join in on the various discussions of both Disney and Hershey. Let us know what else you would like to see for future episodes on our channel. Until then, thank you for watching and have a magically sweet day.